Have you ever wondered about the houses where Buddha has lived, or the caves where he practiced severe self-mortifications before deciding to follow the middle path? Unfortunately, with the decline of Buddhism in India during the Middle Ages, most of the places associated with Buddha were lost, only to be rediscovered during the 19th and 20th century. Let's explore 10 of the most important places where Buddha has lived. The first place in the list is the Mool Gandhkuti, or the first perfume chamber in Sarnath. This was the residence of Buddha in Sarnath. Here, Buddha spent his first training retreat after enlightenment. It is close to Dhamek Stupa and one of the most important shrines in Sarnath. It was gifted to Buddha by a rich man named Nandiya. The building is square-shaped, 18.29 meters in length on every side. The Mool Gandhkuti, according to Xuanzang, was about 61 meters high. The area between the Mool Gandhkuti and the Dharmarajika Stup is believed to be the site where Buddha used to perform his walking meditations or sankama. Second on the list is Gandhkuti, situated in the Jetavana Park in Sravasti. It was built by his prime follower Anath Pindika for the personal use of Buddha. This was the residence of Buddha in the Jetavana monastery. This is the largest temple structure in Jetavana. The original Gandhkuti was a 2-story wooden structure that was later converted into a 6-story brick building. Today, only the foundation and lower walls of the structure have survived. There is Stupa H just in front of Gandhkuti, which was the place where Buddha used to give his sermons to the bhikkhus and his lay disciples. Buddha spent most of his monastic life in Sravasti, and naturally, it was the place where he gave most sermons and held numerous discourses that were recorded in the scriptures. He spent 25 of his rainy retreats in Sravasti out of a total of 45. The third on the list is a hall situated in the Jetavana Park in Sravasti. This hall was called Kausambikuti and was also built by Anath Pindika. This hall was used by Buddha to do his meditations. The remains of the well that was used at that time can still be seen. In front of the Kausambikuti is a brick platform that marks the original site of Buddha's walking meditations or sankama. Another important place where Buddha lived for around 6 years is called Pragbodhi or Dungeshwari Caves. This place is situated near Bodh Gaya, where Siddhartha stayed before his enlightenment. Dungeshwari Caves are situated on the top of a hill near the river Niranjana. After his renunciation, he left Kapilvastu and eventually reached Uruvela, which is the ancient name of modern-day Bodh Gaya. He stayed at Pragbodhi, and here he practiced the painful self-mortification meditations for 6 years, which is marked by a skeleton statue of Buddha inside the Dungeshwari cave. Later, he realized the futility of self-mortifications, and from Pragbodhi, he crossed the river Niranjana and arrived at the Bodhi tree, under which he attained enlightenment. On the 5th place in the list is one of the favorite places of Buddha, which is called Gridhkut or Vulture Peak. It was here that he preached many of his famous sermons, including the Lotus Sutta and the Wisdom Sutta. This is situated in Rajgriha, and Buddha spent a lot of time here, both before his enlightenment and after his enlightenment. This is the site where his cousin Devdatta tried to kill Buddha by hurling a stone at him from the peak of the hill. Those who wish to climb the Vulture Peak can follow the long stone stairway, which is called Bimbisar Road, after the king of Magad, who ordered this path to be constructed. Near the top, there are 2 small caves believed to have been used by Buddha himself and by his disciple Ananda. At the bottom of the stairway, there are 2 caves which were used by 2 of his prime disciples, Sariputta and Moggallana. At the top of the hill is a rock in the shape of a vulture standing with folded wings, from which the peak got its name. Remains of the ancient monastery are scattered on the top of the hill. Another important place where Buddha has lived is the bamboo grove or Veluvana. This place is also situated in Rajgriha. It was donated to Buddha by Bimbisar, the king of Magad, when Buddha returned from Sarnath to Rajgriha after establishing the Sangha. This was the first donation of a park or vihara to Buddha. The place had special importance to him, and he enjoyed taking a bath in the Karanda pond at Veluvana. Buddha used to make frequent visits to the bamboo grove. Kapilvastu is 7th on the list. It was the capital of the Sakyan kingdom and the place where Prince Siddhartha spent his 29 years. This is around 27 kilometers from Lumini, the place of his birth in Nepal. This is also the place where Siddhartha renounced the material world in search of enlightenment. The remains of Kapilvastu include the fortification walls and the eastern and western gates. The eastern gate, through which Siddhartha took renunciation, is called the Mahabhiniskramana gate. The next place on the list is comparatively remote in location. The place is Ghoshitaram Monastery, situated in Kaushambi. At the time of Buddha, Kaushambi was one of the largest cities in India. Ghoshita was a banker of Kaushambi. He invited Buddha to Kaushambi and constructed the monastery for his rainy retreat. Buddha spent his 6th and 9th rainy retreat at the Ghoshitaram Monastery. Here, the first rift broke out in Sangha in presence of Buddha. Buddha left the monastery in disgust. It was destroyed in the 5th century BC during the invasion of the Hun king Toramana. Kutagar Sala Vihara, situated near Vaishali, is 9th on the list. The monastery was frequently visited by Buddha and he spent several rainy retreats here. This is the place where Buddha allowed women to enter the order of monks for the first time at the request of Ananda, and thus Bhikkhuni Sangha was established in Vaishali. The remains of the first monastery of nuns can still be seen on the southwestern side of the Ashoka Pillar. The monastery also houses Ananda Stup, which marks the place where Ananda, the prime disciple of Buddha, took Samadhi. The 10th place in the list of places where Buddha has lived is Nigrodharma, or the Banyan Grove, situated near Kapilvastu in Nepal. It was offered to Buddha by his father King Suddhodana when he first visited Kapilvastu. Buddha visited Kapilvastu along with his 300 disciples after his enlightenment at the request of his father. It was the same place where his son Rahul asked for his inheritance and he was initiated into Buddhism. This is also the site where Prajapati Gautami, his second mother, offered the robe to him. All 10 places are equally important and the list does not signify in any way the relative importance of the places where Buddha has lived. If you found value in this video, please give it a thumbs up. We are constantly coming out with new videos on the life of Buddha and the Buddhist heritage. If the information provided by the video was useful, please subscribe to the channel for similar videos on Buddhism. Please share your thoughts on the places where Buddha has lived in the comment section below.